All right, joined now by head coach of the Minnesota State Mavericks, Mike Hastings, coming off a weekend split with the University of Minnesota. Your thoughts on the weekend with the Gophers, and then, of course, a big weekend with Minnesota Duluth coming to town.
You know what
Games.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, PA. You know what I thought last weekend was very educational for our club. Played a very talented University of Minnesota team, and Friday night got off to a really good start. I thought the best part of the game for us was in the first 15, 16 minutes, possessed the puck, didn't give up a ton, and then had a couple of turnovers towards the end of the first period, and it ends up in the back of our net. I thought that you then took momentum over the remaining part of that period and the second period, and then we made a push. We scored a goal in the third period to get it to 2-1, had a power play, didn't do much with the power play. Minnesota did a good job of killing the penalty and ended up winning 4-1. So came back on Saturday and, again started from behind. But found a way to get it back to even and then finally play with a lead to have Minnesota come back under a minute and tie it. And then Ryan Sandelin scores a very big goal for us to get it to a 3-2 lead, and we hold on at the end. Thought we played with some poise through the end. The place was hopping. I appreciate the crowd that was here, and now we're looking forward to a series against a very difficult, tough, well-coached UMD team.
Thanks for that, Hasty. So we are using Zoom here. If you have questions, please use the raise your hand feature. Otherwise, we'll take questions from media here in attendance. Rob Clark.
Coach, some question marks coming into the season. Do you feel like after one series that this team has answered some of those questions?
A few of them, but we've still got a thesaurus full of others. One, we found that we can come back from a deficit and still win a hockey game. That's something that we hadn't answered the two previous games. And then, you know what, we had some young players, freshmen, step up and I think make some significant impacts. I thought Christian Fitzgerald played well on Friday and even better on Saturday. Ends up getting an assist on the game-winning goal. Blocks a couple of big-time shots, I think, at the end of the game to ice it. Had me feeling very comfortable with him playing in that role at that time of the game. I thought Psychos played very well. We had some freshmen that grew a little bit. I thought Wilson played well on Friday, and then Saturday maybe took a half step back, but that's what happens with the young guys. You need some of the veterans, as Ryan Sandelin and Sam Morton made an impact on Saturday. I thought both played very well. Ryan Sandelin had 7 shots on net. And we're going to need those veterans to continue to do what they need to do and then get the goaltending that we got on Saturday to ice it to win a 3-2 game.
Kevin Dudley from the Free Press.
I think coming into the year, you knew you were going to have to rely on some more inexperienced defensemen in some spots. And then before last weekend, you figure out you're not going to have Benny. The more inexperienced defensemen, you mentioned Psychowitz, who did get opportunities. What did you think of the way, I guess, that unit played as a whole, and especially those more inexperienced guys?
Well, I think there's two sides to that. You want to lean on your veteran presence, and I thought Livingstone and Hiroshi, who played very significant minutes on Saturday, managed those minutes and played as well as those two have played together in this short season. And then I think that allowed guys like Wheeler, Psychos, Tony Malinowski to step up a little bit because their opportunity is different than what it's been before. And the only way you get experience is going into live fire. And I thought those guys did a really good job at managing it. And hopefully they can start there and build on that through the remainder of the week for this weekend.
Don Westfall, do you have a question?
And I think last week, to some degree, Keegan Ranciere answered the question that life will move on. And I thought he played better each and every period of the entire weekend.
I'll agree with you there. I think he's started to get a bit more comfortable. You get into Saturday's game, and you've got a guy like Snuggerud, who I think special. He's got a special release. He can really shoot a puck, and Keenan didn't give him much room, but he still found it, threw it under the bar, And, we needed Keenan to shut the door after that, and I thought he did. We gave up some odd-numbered rushes. We gave up a breakaway, and he found a way to keep it out of our net and give us an opportunity to get our feet underneath us, tie the game, and get a lead, and then hold on to it. So I think he grew up right in front of our eyes a little bit. We're still a work in progress as far as what we're going to be doing with our goaltending, and that you'll see a little bit of that probably this weekend.
Kevin Dudley, please.
I'll ask a little more about Campbell. He made a big play for you guys. I was talking to Andy Carroll before the season. He mentioned he thought Campbell had some offense in his game, and that was going to be an element he could bring. Do you think that's something going forward that we could see from him, and that he has a strong offensive element to his game?
We've really, from day one, we've been excited about what Campbell brings, because he's walked in here with a level of confidence that you don't see a lot of, let's just say, a lot of defensemen at this level walk in with, and not in a cocky or an arrogant way. I mean, in just, hey, I go about my business, I do my work, and I'm going to go out and play. And so I was excited to see how he handled that situation. It's a sold-out barn. You're playing one of your rivals that, the last 2 years you've ended their season. There's some pressure there because of what the situation is. I thought he played very well. And I'm not just talking about the ability to get a puck to the net, which he definitely has that. I think there is some offense, and I'm hoping that continues to grow, not at the expense of the defensive end, but that he feels comfortable playing in, whether it's in the offensive zone or his own.
Another question. Last question.
I'll ask about Duluth. They're coming off an off week, I think, but they played a non-conference series against Arizona State and got a sweep against, I think, a pretty good team. What do you see from them? Maybe a little bit of a younger group for Scott this year?
You know what? Just looking at the roster, I think they've got 10 freshmen. As usual at Duluth, they reload a little bit. Yeah, they've got a first-round draft pick. They've got some guys that I think are stepping right in. I think Steve's had 2 goals over the weekend. They're guys that are putting themselves in, I think, significant roles through their play. And then it's vintage Duluth. They're really good between the posts. I think between the two of them, they're batting about .940 as far as the save percentage. They've got 2 elite defensemen, and allowing some of the younger guys to continue to grow into their shoes. And then up front, they've got a very potent first line that they're really a threat anytime they're out on the ice. And then you've got some young guys that are starting to find their stride. So they're going to be very good killing penalties on the power play, the things that you can coach. They've got talent. They're going to be disciplined. They're comfortable playing in close games, as you saw. Both those games with ASU were tight games, and they found ways to win. And so if we get anything this weekend, we're going to have to earn it.
Thanks, AC. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.